Right. No, I know. I decided to see. Right. No, it's, I mean, his solos are so melodic. You can hum them like it's true. Everything he does. Exactly. So for the people that are here, we're going to start with a couple of old songs that you might know. If you do, you're welcome to sing along. This first one's by the Beatles called Octopus's Garden. We're going to do all animal-themed songs. This one's about an octopus. And in honor of the upcoming SpongeBob musical. There's no octopuses. There's a squid with no octopus. Okay, ready? I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He'd let us in and knows where we've been in his octopus's garden in the shade. I'd come and see my octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would be warm below the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves, resting our head on the seabed in octopus's garden near a cave. We would sing and dance around because we know we can't be found. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would shout and swim about the coral that lies beneath the wave. Oh, what joy for every girl and boy, knowing they're happy and they're safe. We would be so happy, you and me, no one there to tell us what to do. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. Thank you. Now we're going to move from undersea to the backyard. This song's about a hound dog. One, two. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, rocking all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, rocking all the time. Well, I never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. That was just a lie. They said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Take it down here. Well, it said you was high class, that was just a lie. They said you was high class, but that was just a lie. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Now we'd like to call Rachel Rose to the stage to help us out with the next song.
Good morning, and welcome to the Community Church of Chapel Hill, Unitarian Universalist. I am Atticus Graysmith, a member of the Worship Associates Ministry. I especially want to welcome any visitors or newcomers to our church and to call your attention to a special note for you. Welcome guests and newcomers on the back side of your order of service. I would also like to welcome those of you attending online. Lyrics to the hymns and all elements of the service may be found on the screen, and a complete order of service, including this week's announcements, is available by the link in the Sunday morning email and on the church website. I would also like to welcome our many non-human friends and let you all know that there will be a reception with pet hospitality in the courtyard afterwards, as well as our standard coffee hour. Please take a moment to turn off or silence any cell phones during our service to maintain a worshipful experience. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. We will now hear from Kathleen Ferranola regarding this week's Within These Walls.
Good morning. Earlier this week, we all received a heartfelt email from Reverend Thom recalling some of his favorite auction items or events that he's won by bidding in past years. Many of us have similar memories that make us smile when we recall our auction wins. Well, the good news this morning is that bidding has begun in this year's online auction. So many great items some were still being added this morning after the last service, so it's always good to check the site again. But right now we have over 300 auction items that include themed meals and special events, handmade treasures, food, art, sporting events, entertainment, crafts classes, music, garden items, books, professional services, travel adventures, and many more things. And we have a special addition this year to our online process, which is the residents of the church who happen to be artists have also donated some of their artwork. And we want you to be able to see that up close and in person so you can enjoy it and bid on it. And their artwork is located just outside the door where you came in the Commons, against the far wall there. So we want to say special thanks to Marnie Goldschlag, Joan Mead, and Susan Newlist for their art donations. And there are more church items that are being showcased in person today at our double auction table. Everything from a jeweled guitar and chess sets to jewelry and masks from Tanzania. So you really want to stop by and check some of those out. The auction is a virtual warehouse of incredible items and adventures waiting. So bid now, bid often. Bidding ends on Saturdays at noon on Saturday, October 19th. And if you have any trouble with bidding, Joan O'Brien is at the table with me after this service today and can help you with any questions you have. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathleen. If you would please stand in body or in spirit for our opening hymn, number 38, Morning Has Broken. You will find it in your gray hymnal. We give thanks for the earth and its creatures, and are grateful from A to Z for alligators, apricots, acorns, and apple trees, for bumblebees, bananas, blueberries, and beagles, coconuts, crawdads, cornfields, and coffee, daisies, elephants, and flying fish, for groundhog, glaciers and grasslands, hippos and hazelnuts, icicles and iguanas, for juniper, jackrabbits, and June bugs, kudzu and kangaroos, lightning bugs and licorice, for mountains and milkweed and mistletoe, narwhals and nasturtiums, otters and ocelots, for peonies and persimmons and polar bears, for quahogs and Queen Anne's lace, for raspberries and roses, salmon and sassafras, tornadoes and tulip wood, urchins and valleys and waterfalls, yaks and yams and yogurt. We are grateful, good earth, not least of all for zinnias, zucchini, and zebras, and for the alphabet of wonderful things that are as simple as ABC. Come, let us worship together. You will find the words for our chalice lighting in your order of service. If you wish to do so, please join me in reading them. We light our chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of the helping hands. Now for a musical presentation, We Are All Earthlings, sung by the Chalice Choir.
So there's often people ask me, we do two services on Sunday morning, what's the difference between the two services? And I say, not much, except at one service, someone's always going to laugh at my joke, and the other one, nobody's going to laugh at the joke. It's funny, so at the first service this morning, we had no barking in the entire service. So it says something about who comes to the first service and who comes to the second service, I guess. So here at our church, the tradition of doing a blessing of the animals service started a year before I became the minister here, when Reverend Gary Kowalski served for a year as the interim minister. And Gary Kowalski is just about the biggest animal lover that we can imagine, and we remember him fondly. He wrote the opening words that Atticus read, and he wrote the story, or sort of retold the story that I'm gonna retell in my own voice now. This is a story called "What the Turtle Taught Theodore." So we have I think, as far as I can see, we have all dogs here. But at our first service this morning, we had a bearded dragon in the first row, very exciting, and so I joked that this was probably a long distant cousin of the turtle, an ancestor of the turtle that taught Theodore. So Theodore, this is a story. It's a true story. And it happened more than 200 years ago, when kids maybe acted a little differently than kids do now. And it happened when Theodore was a very, very young boy, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And Theodore noticed that all of the older boys in his neighborhood, they had a game that they liked to play. It was not a good game. But the game that they liked to play, because they thought it was fun, even though it wasn't a fun game, was that the boys would get sticks and they would go down to the pond and they would try to sneak up on the turtles, sunning themselves on a log by the side of the pond, and knock the turtles off the log into the pond. That was what they did for fun before video games. So one day, Theodore Parker was out walking around by himself, swinging a stick at the different branches and grasses, and he came upon the pond, and there, out in the pond, there was on a log a great big turtle happily sunning itself on a day. And Theodore thought of the boys and their game, and he thought, ooh, I think I am going to try it. So Theodore snuck up on the turtle, and he raised his stick, and then something stopped him. He thought about what he was going to do, and something seemed wrong to him about this situation. He looked at the turtle, quiet and peaceful, enjoying the summer day, just as he liked to feel the warmth and light of the sun. Had the turtle ever done him any harm, Theodore asked himself? No. Was the turtle any different from him? Not so different, he thought. So slowly Theodore lowered his stick and walked home, thinking about what had happened. When he got home, his mother was there to greet him, and he told her about this story. And his mother, listened carefully to Theodore, and listened especially carefully when he related how some strong, strange force inside him had stopped him from hitting the turtle. Theodore, his mother said, that force inside you was the voice of conscience. Always pay attention to it. Always follow what your conscience tells you. It's your moral compass that points you in the right direction. And if you honor your conscience, you will never go wrong in this world. Theodore grew up to become a very, very famous Unitarian minister, maybe the most famous Unitarian minister of the 19th century. And one of Theodore Parker's greatest strengths, Theodore Parker was his name, was that he was a champion of the defenseless and those who needed defending, sticking up for the people who were oppressed in our society. And that all started one summer day when he was just a child who saw a turtle and decided to do what was right. That's the story of what the turtle taught Theodore. We'll have our offering.
Freely have we received gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit. Gladly we bring to our church and its wide concerns a portion of this bounty. If you wish to donate online, there's a QR code on the back of the order of service, and there's information on the church's website. We will now receive the morning offering.
This one is for my brother Jim, who I lost 3 weeks ago. It's also for all the doggy daddies and doggy mommies out there. Okay. It's a song by my friend Michael Gerlin. Where's that smelly old dog? Holes in my backyard. Holes in my backyard. Where's that smelly old dog? Where's that smelly old dog? Get down, you smelly old dog. Dog hair on my coat. Dog hair on my coat. Get down, you smelly old dog. Get down, you smelly old dog. Once that smelly old dog could run with any squirrel. Run with any squirrel. Where's that smelly old dog? Where's that smelly old dog? Now that smelly old dog just sleeps the day away, sleeps the day away. Where's that smelly old dog? Farewell, old friend. We'll meet again on some green field. Our old wounds heal. Farewell, old friend. we'll meet again on some green field. Our old wounds healed.
The reading this morning comes from the novel Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. Gilead won the Pulitzer Prize in Fiction in 2005. The novel takes the form of a long letter written by an old minister to a very young son. We were very pious children from pious households in a fairly pious town, and this affected our behavior considerably. Once, we baptized a litter of cats. They were dusty little barn cats, just steady on their legs, the kind of waifish creatures that live their anonymous lives, keeping the mice down and having no interest in humans at all, except to avoid them. But the animals all seem to start out sociable, so we were always pleased to find new kittens prowling out of whatever cranny their mother had tried to hide them in, as ready to play as we were. It occurred to one of the girls to swaddle them up in a doll's dress. There was only one dress, which was just as well, since the cats could hardly tolerate a moment in it and would have to have been unswaddled as soon as they were christened in any case. I myself moistened their brows, repeating the full Trinitarian formula. I still remember how those warm little brows felt under the palm of my hand. Everyone has petted a cat, but to touch one like that, with the pure intention of blessing it, is a very different thing. It stays in the mind. For years we would wonder what, from a cosmic viewpoint, we had done to them. It still seems to me to be a real question. There is a reality in blessing, which I take baptism to be primarily. It doesn't enhance sacredness, but it acknowledges it. And there is a power in that. I have felt it pass through me, so to speak. The sensation is of really knowing a creature. I mean, feeling its mysterious life and your own mysterious life at the same time. I don't wish to be urging the ministry on you, but there are some advantages to it you might not know to account of if I did not point them out. Not that you have to be a minister to confer blessings. You're simply much more likely to find yourself in the position. It's a thing people expect of you.
Thank you, Jenn. Gilead is one of my favorite novels of all time. Blessing does not enhance sacredness, but it acknowledges it. And there is a power in that. And also, you do not have to be a minister to confer a blessing. We're going to move right now into the animal blessing time of the service. And so if you've come with a creature, you might bring the creature close to you. If you've brought a stuffy or a picture, perhaps a picture on your phone or a collar, or another item that reminds you of your animal, you can bring that close to you. If you didn't bring anything, you can maybe you have an animal companion who's at home, you might just take a moment to hold the thought of your animal in your mind. Or if you're coming today sad, remembering an animal who was a part of your family, take a moment to connect with that memory. I would invite you, if you're willing, to place your hand on your animal, to take a moment to feel your mysterious life and your animal's mysterious life together at the same time, to recognize that bond and connection. I invite you to give thanks, to give deepest and most gracious thanks for this creature in your life. I invite you to think of the care, the compassion, the love that is exchanged between you. I invite you to think of the blessing that your animal companion is. And I invite you to think of the ways that each of your lives are blessed in turn. Blessings given and blessings received are really the same blessing. I invite us to hold a moment of silence as we hold in our own hearts, or relative silence, I guess, as we take a moment in our own hearts to give thanks and to acknowledge. Let us be still for just a moment. With deep gratitude and abiding love, we say thanks. We're going to sing again. I invite us to rise in body or in spirit. We're going to sing Spirit of Life, number 123, and we're going to sing it just through once this morning. Let us sing together. It's our tradition. On most Sundays, we hold a time in the service for sharing the joys and the sorrows that we bring with us into this community. How this time works is that if you've come with either a significant joy or a significant personal sorrow, you're invited to come forward, place a stone in the water bowl, and say your name into the microphone, and briefly, like a sentence or two, share your joy or your sorrow. I will place the first stone this morning, and then we'll invite others to do that. This first stone is placed for all of the victims and all of those struggling in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, especially the people in the western part of North Carolina. As we witness just unbelievable destruction, we hold that part of our state and its people in our hearts. We know that many of us are people who have friends and family and loved ones there, and we wish well for them. And we know that many of us have really fond and important memories of that part of the state as well. Marion shared with me this morning that all of our UU college students who are in college out at App, at Western Carolina and elsewhere, they're all safe and dry and well, and for that we give thanks. But a stone is placed for the destruction from Hurricane Helene.
My name is Charlie, and I have a joy that today is my birthday.
My name is Esther, and I have two sorrows. One for my dog Honey, who is unfortunately too old to be here today, and another one for my family's dearest friend Thomas, who has been dying of terminal cancer, who is up in the mountains, and we don't know if he's all right, but we hope he is.
My name is Leanne. This is one of those days when I have kind of a heavy heart for many reasons, but I'm actually going to share two joys. The first of which is it's a joy of gratitude to Glenn and all the people in the church that put on As You Like It, because you might have heard the song Still I Will Love, and that's the song I go to when I'm feeling like this. It really gives me incredible strength. And my second joy is that almost 14 years ago, just a week shy, I was on a team of people that brought new life into the world. And Cass is turning 14, and I'm just incredibly happy that they're in my life.
She wants me to stop growing, but I will never.
Hi, I'm Chris Holbein. A couple weeks ago, I dropped a stone for our dog, Sammy, who had a growth on her neck that was thought to be cancer. Long story short, she had surgery. It turned out not to be cancer, and she has a clean bill of health from her veterinarian.
Hi, my name is Melva Oken, and I have one joy and two concerns to share with you. The joy is that a few weeks ago we did a Share the Plate for You Can Vote, and again, the generosity of the church, we raised $1,100, so I'm very thankful for that. My two concerns is a longtime member of this church and someone very generous, Susan Newlist, flew to Paris, and the day she arrived, she fell in the airport and broke her hip. And so she's in Paris, and they're trying to get her home as quickly as possible, but it's a terrible situation. And the third is another long member of this church, Maggie Scarborough, who now lives in the Asheville area. Her home did get flooded and her car. And so, again, they're just part of the many, many people who have been impacted by this.
My name is Leela. We're coming from South Carolina to get a little bit of power. And so I think our sorrow is that our whole town is out of power, but our joy is that we still have our house and we're all safe. Hopefully it'll be back.
I have a joy that I got out of my booster seat yesterday.
I'm Alan Spalt. I dropped this stone for Giles Blunden, who died yesterday, as far as I can tell. He was certainly approaching 90, if he wasn't already 90. And there is a gathering this afternoon between 3 and 5, and if you see me afterwards, I'll be glad to share the details. And that's our dog, whose name is Ivy. And she heard a rumor that there's actually a two-legged animal in the room that shares her name, and she would love to meet you.
My name is Vincent, and I'm sharing a sorrow for my friend who lives in Asheville who had a tree fall on his house due to the hurricane. And I'm hoping he's able to do well. Yeah.
I'd like to share a joy that on Wednesday. Oh, sorry, my name is Reese, and I'd like to share a joy that on Wednesday is my 13th birthday.
And I am sharing a joy, or maybe a little bit of sorrow, that I have a teenager now. He's growing up too fast.
I refuse to stop growing.
Good morning. My name is Jill Baker, and my husband and I have been away for the summer. We returned this week, and I got the news that our member and friend, Linda Shipman, had a fall last weekend, and she broke both of her ankles. And she was at her beach home, and she's going to be transported back here soon. I'm not sure exactly when. But she will be at Carol Woods, and so she just said to me this morning, do you know people who from the church who live at Carol Woods? And so keep your eyes open, because I'm sure she'll be looking for you. Thank you.
Place a final stone for all those joys and sorrows that we hold in our hearts that were not spoken this morning. Let us take a moment to hold the joys and the sorrows of this community in our hearts, and to hold our care and our love, whichever extends beyond ourselves. I want to invite us to sing our closing hymn of the morning, and invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Our closing hymn is number 203, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. Let us sing it out.
The words for extinguishing the chalice are in your order of service. Please join me if you wish to do so. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Let's thank all of those who contributed to making this service worshipful this morning. Now, if you would please join us in singing Shalom. The words are in your order of service. As you are comfortable, please either hold hands with the person next to you or cross your arms over your heart. Shalom. Shalom.